I just got off a group coaching call with my YouTube Bootcampers, and I wanted to come here and talk about something that keeps coming up. And I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, working with business owners, women creators across fashion, beauty, home, lifestyle, all kinds of niches, all kinds of help niches to grow their YouTube channel. And here is one thing I know for sure, like Oprah.
What I know for sure is
right now, all of us, you, me, the women that were just in my call, we are drowning in information. YouTube videos, podcasts, ChatGPT, spitting out strategies. There's more advice out there than ever before. And the problem is that the advice isn't bad. The problem is that maybe that advice is not meant for you. And if you don't know how to spot the advice to follow and what to ditch, you end up hack jabbing a YouTube strategy that will actually hurt your YouTube channel's growth instead of actually helping it. It'll waste your time, it'll spin your wheels, it'll put you down the wrong rabbit hole. We don't want that, ladies. We want to work smarter, not harder. We, you, me, we don't have a lot of time. We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got businesses, we've got families that rely and depend on us, spouses, parents. We don't have time to do that. So in this video, I'm going to share the 3-part filter that will help you identify the advice that will work with you and the advice that you don't want to follow. That'll waste your time. Plus, I'm going to share with you 3 actual real life examples of my boot campers where we put this in practice together during the call. It just happened during the call. It's really fresh, so that's why I'm coming in here. Now, this isn't just theory. This is real world advice. That's what I do here. That is why I'm here on this YouTube channel, because I want to share with you what I'm actually seeing working with creators. Boots on the ground, in the weeds, what's actually happening right now in 2026. Hi, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube channel producer, strategist, and coach. And this channel here is for women entrepreneurs and creators who are serious about leveraging YouTube for more income, impact, and influence. This is the behind the scenes real talk that might not be pretty, but will help you get where you want to go. I'm not the person that's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not the person that's going to tell you you can do a YouTube channel in 2 hours a week and make $1 million a year. It's just not happening here on this channel, okay? I'm going to tell you what it really takes. Ladies, class is in session. Here's what's actually happening when you're consuming all this advice. You're not building a strategy. You're assembling a strategy from mismatched different pieces and parts. You take a thumbnail tip from one creator. Maybe it's somebody that's actually giving advice on YouTube. Maybe you're looking at a channel in your niche that's doing really well. Oh, no, you're gonna do that thumbnail. Maybe you do like a format recommendation from another, like, oh, like they're doing their vlogs this way. That's what I need to do. Maybe you hear somebody saying, oh, no, vlogs are out. You don't do that. Maybe you're doing like a monetization strategy from some podcast. You're like, oh gosh, Substack is in. You need to start a Substack for your YouTube channel. But none of all this was designed to work together, or for that matter, designed to work for you. So you end up with a Frankenstein strategy that doesn't fit you, doesn't fit your audience, doesn't fit your niche, and then you wonder why it's not working. The deeper issue isn't that you're lacking information. You are lacking the understanding and the clarity that you need to know what advice to take and which advice to ignore. And without that clarity, more information just creates a heck of a lot more confusion. And what ends up happening is that you spin your wheels. You work twice as hard for half the results, because the issue isn't that you're not working hard enough. The issue is that you're working hard on the wrong things. So what you need instead of more advice is you need a filter. And that filter has 3 parts, and I'm gonna share it with you right now. Now, part number 1 is you. And I don't mean your personality, I mean your actual strengths, like your operational strengths. So you want to ask yourself these questions. What do you enjoy doing? What are you naturally good at? What can you sustain long-term without burning out? Here's an example. And I mentioned this a couple times in this video, but a lot of YouTube advice right now, or it has been, not so much anymore, but is pushing this easy mode. Just flip on your camera, sit in your car, talk, do it on your phone, no editing required. And that works really well for some people. But if you're somebody, say, who actually enjoys editing, or if you have a certain delivery style that shines in a little bit more of a formal format, or maybe you have the type of niche that it just won't work with you sitting in your car, that advice can actually really hurt you. And honestly, the easy mode advice exists because most people don't like editing and most people aren't naturally comfortable in front of the camera. But if that's not you, if you actually have those skills in editing or delivery style that connects in a certain way, then following that advice is like ignoring your biggest competitive advantage. So like I said, the question you need to ask yourself is, what am I actually really good at? And does this strategy, let me lean into that so that I can stand out on YouTube. Now, that second filter is your audience. And this is where a lot of people make assumptions instead of looking at the information that's right in front of them. You think you know why people are watching you. But if you actually go into the comments and read what people are saying, you'll often find that they're watching for maybe a different reason than you thought. So I'm going to share with you an exercise I do with my coaching clients all the time. And this is where ChatGPT or some kind of AI tool can be really, really helpful. I take all the comments and snapshot them and put them into chat and give it this prompt. I know that YouTube has like their own Gemini thing. I'll be honest, I haven't had much luck with using the Gemini inside of YouTube. I don't find that I get as good at answers there as I do if just using Poppy AI or ChatGPT. But basically, I take images of all the comments and then I'll put it into ChatGPT and I'll put a prompt. And it says like, I want you to analyze these comments from my YouTube video, and I'll put what the video is about. Can you share with me your findings of why people really enjoy this video, why they like it, why they like me, and why you think that they watch my content? And if you don't have a lot of comments, then go to other channels that have the audience that you want and do the same thing. Those results is what you really want to pay attention to. That's the information you use to come up with your video topics. That information is gold. And this type of market research is really the best type of research that you can do to help you figure out what people in your niche or what people that you want watching your videos are doing on YouTube. And this type of market research is really the best type of research that you can do to help you figure out what people in your niche, what they're saying, who they're watching. The comments are gold mine. And now with these AI tools, we can really, really leverage what's in those comments. It takes a little bit of time to sit there and like copy and paste or take images of that, but I do think it's really, really worth it. And here's the other thing, guys, is that I want you to use your brain. Okay? I want you to use your intuition. I want you to look within when you're doing this. Meaning when you see the results, I don't want you to just ask ChatGPT, okay, well then what video topic should I do from that? No. I want you to see what ChatGPT tells you people are watching or why people are watching. I want you to see the why, but I want you to use your brain and critical thinking and your instinct to figure out the what. And this is a big thing that I teach people. And this is a big part of the reason why I think I'm really successful at doing what I do, because I truly believe the answers are within you. So you could take that information and just have ChatGPT tell you like, here are the top 10 video topics you should do. But what I want you to do is I want you to really think about what you're seeing. I want you to think about it and then think about how you in your own world, your personality, your experience, your instinct can pull from that. Looking at that, what does that spark in you? What do you think? You're like, oh my gosh, I can do it, but this way. I can do it, but that way. That's something that only you can figure out, not ChatGPT, at least not right now. And the best video ideas, to be quite honest, are not necessarily directly from ChatGPT, but you can use ChatGPT in that way as a tool to help you get a little bit more data, a little bit more information, a little bit more kind of meat to chew on for you to then use your own mind, your creativity, your critical thinking to then figure out these are the video topics you should do. YouTube begins with you. And so that's what I always say. That's where we start with your strategy. The answers you're searching for are literally right in front of you, but the noise is drowning it out. So take a look at what people are saying on your videos and your competitors' videos and use your brain, not ChatGPT, use your gut and instinct to look at that and think, now what videos does my audience want from me? Now the third filter is your niche. As you know, not all niches operate the same. If you're taking advice from Mr. Beast or one of his friends or people that worked for him, you've got to know his style might be a huge departure from what your audience is looking for. Or if you're taking advice from someone who only works with, say, business owners, right? Your lifestyle channel is not even on their radar of like how they would help you. And some niches require really heavy visual proof. Some reward personality and commentary. Some are built on authority and depth. And if you don't understand what your niche demands, you're going to follow advice that works in a different niche and wonder why it's not working for you. What works for your unique niche isn't necessarily the latest YouTube advice trend. It's the one that matches what your niche demands. So the question is, what does my niche actually require? What is it that my niche needs to be doing? Do I need to show the process, the before and after? Do I need a lot of photos? Do I need longer content? Do I need to build trust over time with longer content? Or can I deliver value in 60 seconds and still get people to take action, like in shorts? Because a content structure that converts in your niche might be totally different than what's working in somebody else's niche. And then when you understand that, you stop chasing advice trends and start building that strategy that actually finally works for you. And the reason why these 3 filters and clarity matters when you're navigating the world of YouTube advice is that misalignment is really expensive. If your strategy doesn't fit you, you burn out. If it doesn't fit your audience, they don't engage. If it doesn't fit your niche, you don't get the views. And when even one of those is off, you end up working twice as hard for half the results. But when all 3 of them align, you see that momentum on YouTube you have been working so hard for. I'm gonna show you what this looks like in 3 real life examples. I had a bootcamper. Her name is Kim. She's in the fashion and minimalism space. She's got about 25,000 subscribers. She was averaging about 5 to 10,000 views per video. She had really good engagement, over 50% retention, and really engaged comments. But she came to me in this group call and said, I feel like I'm overcompensating for my lack of personality by doing all of this B-roll and editing. All the YouTube advice that I'm seeing right now says be casual, flip on the camera, sit in your car. But when I try and do that, I've done that, my views tank. So I figured that there's something wrong with me, my personality, because I'm hiding behind all my B-roll. And when I do the B-roll, the videos do well. When it's just me, the videos don't do well. And I watched her videos and I was like, no, you're not the problem. The advice is. Because she's in the fashion and minimalism space. And that niche requires a lot of visual proof. It requires those images. It requires the B-roll that she was doing. You've got to show the clothes, the try-ons, the decluttering process. A talking head video like that in your car doesn't work. Not because of her personality, but because the niche does not want that. The niche demands these visual elements that she had been doing so beautifully before. She took advice from some random YouTube channel that said, do YouTube easy mode. And then on top of that, she said, oh, well, I know. I actually really love the editing. I was like, oh my God, girl, you've got to keep editing. That is your competitive advantage. You're actually in the perfect spot. You love editing and you're in a niche that requires more advanced editing. Most people hate the editing. So if you enjoy it and you're in a niche where it matters, you're already ahead. So here's what's happening. Kim's strength was her editing. Her niche demanded that visual proof. Those 2 things align perfectly. But she was distracted and was following this advice that was designed for somebody else. I don't know who. That advice works, but it doesn't work for her. It just wasn't for her. And then when you lean into your strengths instead of trying to fix a perceived weakness, you simplify your workflow and you make better content. I had another bootcamper. Her name is Tina. She had one video that went viral, got 1.5 million views. Suddenly, she had this new audience and she wasn't even sure how to replicate that success or like even who those people were. So I told her to do what I had just mentioned. Take all the comments and let's throw them into ChatGPT and let's see what the people are actually saying. And this was a gift, right? Not everybody has a video that has 1 million views, but when you do have a video that does perform really well and it's a little bit of an outlier, take those comments and throw them into ChatGPT and really see what they're saying. And have ChatGPT help you determine the patterns that are within those comments. And the theme that we saw wasn't that it was great tips or helpful tutorial, it was identification and representation. Things like, finally, someone my age, I love how relatable you are, you're so grounded and real. Now, the content wasn't just informative for people, it was truly transformative, right? It really helped them to see, wow, I can make that same transformation myself, right? Tina's strength is in her really relaxed, relatable on-camera style. She's not performative, she's not trying to be an influencer, she's a lot more grounded. She's not like that perfect aesthetic person, she's more of like that relatable, like best friend next door. And her audience, which is this new audience from the viral video, were loving that about her and they were craving that. They didn't want that aspiration, they wanted a peer. They wanted someone who felt like a friend, a sister, a neighbor. So in this case, your audience will tell you exactly what they want if you actually listen. I think Tina before that was just not sure. She was just overwhelmed. But when we really dialed it down, when we looked at what her audience was saying, it was a lot more tangible for her. That advice was sitting right there in her comments. Lean into your strengths. Tina saw right there, wow, leaning into my relaxed, relatable delivery was actually matching what the audience was wanting. And that's what she needs to double down on. Not because it's trending, not because that's what other advice people are saying, but because it's the alignment between who she is and what her audience wants from her. And when you find that alignment, you don't have to work harder. You just do more of what's already working. Or you just do what you're naturally good at. Now we have one more story. We have Tracy. She's in the fashion niche. She was doing long form 3 videos a week. She was doing everything right. She was seeing some results, but just not getting as much traction as she wanted. She was super frustrated with it. And then she's like, this takes a long time. I don't like doing this kind of content. I feel like I'm forcing it. So she tried something different. She started doing shorts, but here's the key with her. She didn't just repurpose clips from her long form videos. Like, she intentionally created shorts. She filmed every short as a short with a beginning, a middle, an end, a call to action. In less than 28 days, almost 1,000 new subscribers, views were up 44,000, her watch time was up 1,000 hours. And the most important part though of this is that she started to make sales. Her main goal as fashion, which is a little bit different than a lot of fashion channels, isn't necessarily affiliates. She doesn't, do hauls or things like that. It's selling her own line of clothing. And she also has her own services of like helping people with their styling. So she got sales from that for her shorts. So why did this work for Tracy when shorts don't work for everyone? Because there's a couple filters that really align with her and with her content. That filter one, remember, that's you, right? So Tracy's strength is that fast-paced on-camera personality. She actually has a background on QVC. She's in New York, she's really punchy, she's just really engaging in like short bursts. So she thrived with short form content. She was naturally really, really good at it. And I think being really good at short form is very, very difficult to do it, which is also part of the reason why I think most people don't see success on short form. I do have clients that do see success on short form, and what I find is that it clicks for them. They just get short form. The other filter is that Tracy doesn't do hauls like most fashion creators. That's popular in the broader niche, but her more narrow niche is styling tips because she's a stylist and she has her own line of clothing. So there's this distinction there. And with her talent for short form content, this niche really fit well with short, quick, modular, and actionable styling tips. So her strengths and her niche's content style all pointed her in that same direction, which is to do shorts. And in the proof is that the shorts performed well, and most importantly, she made money that she wasn't making before with the long form. So the lesson is that a certain format might win when it matches your own strengths, what the audience wants, and the niche. So Tracy stopped trying to do what everybody else in her niche was doing, and she started doing what made sense for her. So she simplified her strategy and she doubled down on what worked for her, which she naturally gravitated towards and what was good at. She stopped wasting time on strategies that just were not good for her. Now, I'm not telling you to go ahead and do shorts. If you've been here a while, if you watch my other videos, if you're in my bootcamp, you know I'm not the biggest fan of shorts. Okay, but that's a whole different conversation. But like I said, in that video where I talked about shorts, I did say it can do well for certain types of people. And in Tracy's case, that's her. So I'm not telling you to go ahead and do shorts or to stop filming in your car, because that's the whole point of this video. When I dove deep with each of these 3 women on the calls that I do, I was able to uncover their uniqueness to discover that best strategy for them. So the trap, like I said, that people fall into is they see advice that's working for somebody else, even in their own niche, and they'll assume it's working for them. But they don't ask, do they have my strengths? Exactly my niche? Exactly my audience? If the answer is no, then don't try to do things that don't fit. And then you get frustrated and you start blaming yourself. You think, oh, I'm not charismatic enough. I'm not good enough on camera. And Kim thought, oh, I think it's just me. People don't like me. They only like me with B-roll. The real issue is that you're just using the wrong strategy for you, for your niche, for your audience. So what I want you to take away is that YouTube gives you all these tools: shorts, long form, lives, community posts, but you don't have to use all of them. And there's also a ton of tools out there too, like ChatGPT, Poppy AI, all the different things, the Gemini. You just need to pick the things that work for you. And you need to pick the ones that pass through all 3 of those filters that I mentioned earlier. Does it fit me? Does it fit my audience? Does it fit my niche? If the answer to all 3 is yes, then try it out. Still doesn't necessarily mean that's your strategy, but it's worth a shot for you to try out. And if the answer to them is no, you can still try and see, but more than likely, that strategy just isn't for you. I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from this video. I want to have a chat. And if you maybe want my help finding out what strategy that actually fits you, your audience, and your niche, I'm hosting a live masterclass where we're going to walk through all of this together. I'll help you figure out what to focus on, what to let go of, and how to build a strategy that actually works for you. And the link for that is in the description below, and I would love to see you there. Up next, you're going to want to watch this video on how to make money in 2026 with your YouTube channel. Until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being you. And if you made it all the way to the end, make sure you subscribe. Mwah.